So, like, obviously, there can be different opinions here, but in your opinion, is it better to start with like the companies everyone is looking for, like Google, Amazon, Facebook, or Meta, or would you
Yeah.
say it's better to find a startup in your locality?
Oh man, I really do think that you'd benefit from both, and here's why. And first of all, I agree with you. I'm way more comfortable in startup environments mostly because of the speed of delivery. The processes are low, and I'd say like an equally bad environment is, bad processes. So startups don't have any processes or very low. So it's easy to move and navigate. But for somebody getting into tech, like I'm not going to say doing a startup is probably like the best thing to do alone, but I think you benefit from both, certainly, just for different reasons. I think that you have to be a better coder at a startup than at a big company starting out. Like there's a lot resting on you, and you have to be not only a better coder, but you have to give a darn about like ROI. You have to care about business because you may be asked a question you may be asked to make a decision and you need to consider the business implications. So I'd say it's probably harder to be successful at like a startup. So I'd probably do that, and then somewhere around your career, go to a big company, get some experience, or it can be backwards. You might start at a big company, but definitely get that startup and big company experience.
Absolutely, and especially in the startups, there can be sometimes, especially if it's a newer company, there is a possibility of having no unit tests, no integration tests. There's no QA team. There's a lot that can go if wrong decisions are taken. And in one of my internships, someone told me that in startups you learn what to do, and when you go to big companies, you learn what not to do. So maybe
That's a really good way.
Yeah, I mean, to sum up, both kind of experiences are really useful. But personally, in my experience, I started with a startup, like a very small company. It also gives you a lot of exposure, like, and all kinds of experience. So for example, when I started like at a small company, at a startup, so you're kind of like a one-man army where you have to do everything. Yep. There's no dedicated teams for like different kinds. So if you're done with your code, you're going to have to write the unit test as a developer, but you're also going to have to do the rest of the test, for example, integration and this and that, everything as your own QA team, right? And then you're going to have to also like work on the database structure and also like CI/CD for deployment and everything. So it's like a lot of work. Yes, I agree. But you also get this experience where you know how like software as a system, the whole SDLC, how everything works. So that's good. And then I also got the opportunity to transition into this role of a project manager as well, in addition to a software developer, where, because it was a small company, so I was the hiring manager, I was the team manager, I was the scrum master. So I got like so much experience, like different kinds of experience in my tenure at the company, which actually helped me for my next job at a big company, because what I brought on the table was, like this varied kinds of experiences.